Hello everybody, welcome to Industrial Hygiene Safety Management 3423. I'm Dr. Doug Martin. I'll be your professor for this class this semester. In this video, I just want to give you an introduction and overview of the course, what we're going to be doing, how we're going to do it, the structure of the course, and so on. Some basics before I get into any specifics. One of the hardest things about an online class is staying engaged. I challenge you, I encourage you, I implore you to get hooked up with the class and stay engaged with the class and the class material. And that goes along with this basic point here, which I'll talk more about, the importance of staying on schedule. I have a schedule laid out for you. If you stay on schedule and get all your assignments done on the due dates, you're going to be in a much better position than you will be if you let yourself get behind. But again, more on staying on schedule because that is important. And for me, it really doesn't matter if you're behind or not, but if you let yourself go until the very end and have all this work to do at the very end of the semester, you're going to be hating yourself. It's easier, and I think you'll learn more if you follow the schedule that I provide for you. And when I say schedule that I provide for you, I have a class calendar all laid out for you. Go ahead and make this a little larger. You can see it a little better. And starting August 15th, first day of the semester, here's a course introduction section of the class. Starting on the 18th, on Thursday, you'll start Unit 1. You will have until August 27th to complete all of the activities for Unit 1. Then you'll go into Unit 2, which follows Unit 1 and ends on September 6th. And you don't have to follow that schedule, but I really recommend it. Recommend that you do that. And if you go through this course calendar, again, this is available on Blackboard, and I'll show you Blackboard here in a little bit and show you where to find these materials. If you go to the calendar, you'll get an overview of the different topics we're going to be covering in the class. I'm not going to spend time here going over each of the topics, but if you want to take a look at the different topics, you're free to do so. Another important piece of advice for online classes: do not be shy about asking questions. Stay engaged. If you have questions, contact me. There's a lot of different ways you can contact me. You can do it email, text. We can do a Zoom conference. A lot of different ways. You can come by my office also if you are on campus. Read the syllabus. I'm going to talk about a lot of the points in the syllabus during this course introduction, but there will be some points that I could spend 2 hours going through this point by point. I want to highlight certain points. It's up to you to go back and read the syllabus in more detail and ask me if you have any questions about those details. And I've already mentioned the course calendar. So what is this class going to be all about? Industrial hygiene is a part of safety management that focuses on specific work activities, specific work environments, and conditions in those work environments that can have an adverse impact on workers' health. Work conditions that can result in disease. Work activities that can result in different types of disorders. And that's our the general topic that we're dealing with in industrial hygiene. Now in the first unit, which is Introduction to Industrial Hygiene, I'll go in more detail. But here are some more specific examples for right now. We'll be talking about chemicals that can cause disease and the different diseases that are caused by those chemicals. We'll talk about silica. And silica is a substance that causes illness in a lot of workers in the United States. The illness that is caused by silica exposure is silicosis. But that's just one example of many different diseases and many different chemicals that we'll talk about this semester. We'll talk about noise in the workplace. Noise in the workplace can have a number of adverse effects, including loss of hearing for the worker. The loss of hearing for the worker is not the only adverse impact that excessive noise in the workplace can have. We'll have one entire unit just on noise in the workplace. We'll also talk about different work activities and how those activities, if not managed properly, can result in what we call musculoskeletal disorders. We'll talk a little bit perhaps about work activities and musculoskeletal disorders here and there throughout the semester, but the last unit of the semester, Unit 11, is the ergonomics unit. Ergonomics is that specialty area that focuses on musculoskeletal disorders that can result from different workplace activities or conditions. Yeah, just a taste of what we're going to be talking about in industrial hygiene, just a taste of what industrial hygiene is all about. The course will be structured into 11 different units, with each unit focusing on a specific topic. I will start each unit with an overview of the assignments to complete for that unit. There will be a video lecture that introduces each unit. And in that video lecture introduction to the unit, I'll go over all the assignments that you need to complete. There will be a variety of assignments in each unit. There could be reading assignments, there could be a study guide, there could be some critical thinking activities, and every unit will have video lectures. And in your calendar, let me go ahead and bring up, let me bring up the syllabus. This is another variation of the calendar. Look at Unit 1 here. Unit 1, these are all the different tasks that we'll complete for Unit 1. Read Chapter 1. Watch the video lecture, Introduction to Industrial Hygiene. That actually could be more than one video lecture. I like to keep my video lectures around 30 minutes, no longer than 30 minutes. So it could end up being longer. There could end up being multiple video lectures for each unit. If it just says one video lecture, take that with a grain of salt. There could be multiple video lectures for each unit. But just looking at Unit 1 here to give you an idea of how things are structured here. Watch video lectures, complete study guide, and then complete the quiz. Each unit will have a quiz at the end. And that's where you're going to earn most of your points in the class, is with that quiz. And I'll talk more about those quizzes as we move along. And for more detailed information about the course structure, you can take a look at this section of the syllabus and also the course calendar that I've already shown you. Again, here's that course calendar. Both of these resources are available on Blackboard. And when we get to Blackboard, I'll show you where you can find those materials. Communication is very important in an online class. You need to watch your emails, check it daily, look for any announcements on Blackboard. If you're not checking your email or your Blackboard announcements daily, you might miss an important announcement from the class. Do not ignore emails that go along with this class, pertaining to this class. I know we all get tons of emails, and it's real tempting just to ignore certain emails. But if it's an email from me about this class, you should take a look at it. Take you just a second to open it up and take a look at it. Communication going the other way. If you ever need to talk to me, I'm available for you. That's what they pay me for, is to help you. You can text me, you can email me. One thing about text messages and email messages, if it's after 10 p.m., I probably will not respond until the next day. But I will respond. I will not ignore your emails. Another option that I've already alluded to is Zoom meetings and office meetings. I do need to make you aware of one thing about my office, though. The syllabus shows that my office is BT 221I. That is my new office, which they have not moved me into yet. Hopefully within the next couple of weeks, I will be moved into this office. If you need to come by my office sooner, before I make the move, my current office is BT B9C. BT B9C. That's the business building in the basement, room 9C. Some of you, if you've been in my classes before, you know where that office is. For the rest of you, it's real easy to find. Just go to the lower level of the basement and look at the room numbers until you get to 9C, and you'll be able to find me. And my office hours are listed here, but I am available at other times. If you need to contact me at times other than my listed office hours, do so. Don't be shy don't worry about bothering me. The only caveat to that is if it's after 10 o'clock, I might not respond until the next day. We will be using Blackboard, which is a learning management system. We're using it to organize and make course materials available. All materials except the textbook will be available through Blackboard. Exams, Blackboard. Quizzes, Blackboard. Handouts, other readings, everything Blackboard. The video lectures, you will go to Blackboard to click on the link that will open up the different video lectures that we use for each unit. Most of you probably are familiar with Blackboard. You've probably used it before, but if you aren't familiar with it, let me know. You might also consider seeking help from the Center for Teaching and Learning or from IT. But probably your best option is just to get with me first. I'm probably going to be more helpful than IT or the CTL will be when it comes to helping you learn Blackboard. It's really not that difficult. If you do need some help, come by my office. Quick 10-15 minute walk you through Blackboard and how it works, and you'll be an expert in using Blackboard. One note on the Blackboard material. The Blackboard material for each unit may not be available in advance or all at one time. For example, the Unit 1 material, it may not all be available on day 1 of Unit 1. Let's go bring that class calendar back up, give you a little more idea what I'm talking about. Unit 1, according to this calendar, starts on Thursday, August 18th. I may not have all of the video lectures available on August 18th, but they will be available, and all the other resources will be available in plenty of time for you to complete the assignments. One assignment that you can always get started on, and I recommend starting on this assignment first, is the reading and the study guide assignment. In Unit 1, you'll be reading Chapter 1 and doing a study guide with study questions for Chapter 1. That should really be your first task that you complete for that unit. Even if all the video lectures aren't available yet, you can go ahead and get started on that assignment, because if you have a textbook, you can always go to work on that assignment. I will have the study guides available on the first day of a unit. Speaking of textbook, you will need access to a textbook for this class, and this is the textbook that we will be using. And here is the title of that textbook and the publisher. Again, can't do this class without the book. Now, you could share a book with someone else if you wanted to, if you couldn't afford to buy the book. The book is expensive. You could share with someone else, but be aware that when you share a book with someone else, they may have it when you need it and you can't get it from them. So the best way to go is for each student to have their own book. I would also, when it comes to this particular book, if you're planning on being a safety manager, planning on working as a safety manager, you should have this book in your library. It should be one that you purchase and keep throughout your career. It will be an important reference and an important resource throughout your career as a safety manager. Other reading material may be provided by the professor throughout the semester. Probably not a lot of additional reading material. We'll stick mostly with the book when it comes to reading assignments, but there may be one or two things that I throw out for you to read in addition to the textbook. I've mentioned unit quizzes being a big part of the class. 544 points potentially is allocated for unit quizzes. That's about 2/3 of the points possible in the class. I have over half of points possible. It's closer to 2/3 of the points possible in the class are for the unit quizzes. Quizzes will be based on the study guide questions and material contained in the video lectures. The quizzes will be timed. Once you go into Blackboard and open and start taking that quiz, you will have a specified amount of time to complete the quiz questions. And it won't be the same for every unit quiz. It will be dependent. How much time you have will be dependent on how many questions are in the quiz. If it's a 30-question quiz, you'll have more time than you would have if it was a 15-question quiz. You may use the answers from your completed study guide on the quiz. So I recommend completing the study guide before attempting the quiz. You may also use your lecture notes taken from the video lectures. PowerPoints will not be available. You'll need to watch the video lectures and take notes. You can then use those notes on the quiz. One thing I warn against: don't open the quiz and then start watching the videos, because you won't have time. The quiz is going to time out for you if you try to use that approach. Same thing, don't start the quiz and then start working on the study questions, because you'll run out of time. And once it's timed out, it's timed out. You won't be able to go back and answer any of those questions. So what else can I say about this? I guess let me just give you a rundown on the strategy that you should use for these unit quizzes. Read the chapter, do the study guide. Watch the video lectures, take notes. Once you have those activities completed and you think you're ready for the quiz, then you open the quiz and start the quiz. And during the quiz, you can use your lecture notes, you can use the completed study guide questions. And I think I've already hit upon this enough, but let me go ahead one more time. Each unit will include one or more video lectures. Watch all video lectures for each unit. If there is more than one, or if there are multiple video lectures for a unit, they will be numbered and you should watch them in order. For example, there might be a code number U11. That would be Unit 1, Video 1. First video in Unit 1. If it was U22, that would be Unit 2, Video 2, and so on. Take notes. I've talked about lecture material covered on the unit quizzes, and you may use your notes that you have. If you don't have any notes, you're going to be up a creek, more than likely. Reading assignments and study guides and study questions, we've talked about this. Material contained in reading assignments may be covered on the unit quizzes. Complete reading and study guide before attempting quiz. Now, the first assignment that you need to complete and the due date for this assignment, let me go ahead and bring the course calendar up here, is the email assignment. And the only reason I do this assignment, have you do this assignment, is to make sure that your NSU email address and email is working properly. To complete this assignment, take 5 minutes, send me an email using your NSU email address. And I need to receive this email before midnight on August 17th. See that right here on our calendar. This assignment is worth 15 points. If you miss the deadline, you will not receive any points or any credit for the assignment. This is one of the few assignments in the class that has a hard deadline, a strict deadline, no tolerance for being late. Only use your NSU email address for any communications in this class. That's going to prevent some potential problems. I know we all have multiple email addresses, but for this class, we need to use just the NSU email for any communications. When I email you, I will use the NSU email address. When you email me, you should use the NSU email address. Another assignment, easy assignment early in the semester, a personal Zoom conference. I do this because I want to get to know who you are, your goals, and so on. And I think if I know you better, I can meet your needs better. Now, some of you may not be environmental health and safety management majors. Well, I want to know that. If you're a criminal justice major and you're taking this class as an elective, or if you're maybe a business administration major and you're taking this class as an elective, that's good information for me to know about you. These personal Zoom conferences is my chance to get to talk to you and for you to talk to me face to face. That is one reason I don't really like online classes, because you don't have that face-to-face interaction with one another. I don't have interaction with you, you don't have interaction with me, and you don't have interaction with other students. The personal Zoom conference will help not eliminate but alleviate that particular shortcoming of online classes. The personal Zoom conference needs to be completed before 5 p.m. on September 2nd. So you have about the first 3 weeks of class to get that completed. And I will show you how to get signed up for a meeting here in just a second. There is a link on Blackboard for signing up for a conference date and time. The Zoom link that you will use to make the connection to start the Zoom meeting is available on Blackboard also. This assignment, which will take 15 minutes, at most 20 minutes, is worth 50 points. This assignment also has a hard deadline. No credit after the deadline has passed. Another thing I need to mention before I bring up Blackboard and show you how to schedule this meeting. If you are in both of my online classes, if you are in Safety Management 3413 and Safety Management 3423, you only need to do one Zoom conference. You'll do one Zoom conference and you'll receive 50 points of credit for both classes. Now, really some pretty easy points, and that's a pretty good chunk of points that are pretty easily earned. On the flip side of that, that's a pretty good chunk of points to lose out on if you don't meet the deadline. But let me go ahead and bring Blackboard up, and I'll show you how to get signed up for a meeting date. Okay, open up your Blackboard. Let me get into student preview mode. Okay, when you log into Blackboard for this class, you should see something like this. And over on the left, there's a link that says Zoom Conference Sign Up. To set up your personal Zoom conference meeting, click on that link. That link will take you to my Google Calendar. Once you see my Google Calendar, click on any of these blue dots here. You don't click up here where it says Business Statistics. Click on any of the blue dots that says Zoom Conference Dr. Martin. Click on any of those blue dots. This window will open up. Open Booking Page. You want to click on Open Booking Page. Then you will see this calendar show up. And this calendar, starting on August 18th, shows the available times for the Zoom conferences. And there are available times just about every day up until Friday, September 2nd. there should be more than ample slots available to get signed up for the Zoom conference meeting. Once you open this up, select whatever time, date that you like, click on it. You'll enter your contact information, and then you'll click book. I'm not going to click book because I'll be making a meeting with myself if I do. But for you, let me show you that one more time. I'm going to go through the entire process. I know it may be overkill. Go through the entire process one more time. Okay, go to Blackboard, 3423, Industrial Hygiene page, Zoom conference sign up. Click on one of the blue dots there that says Zoom conference. Open booking page. Then select your time that you like. And notice there are some times in the evening. Some of you may work during the day, so I have some evening times available also. Let's go ahead and click on 7 p.m. on Wednesday, August 24th. Then you would enter your contact information, name, first name, last name, and then your email address. Then you click book. When you click book, I'll receive an email indicating that you have made the appointment with me. All right, that's it. Let me know if you have any questions. Yeah, once you have your appointment and it's time for the meeting, to start the meeting, go back to Blackboard and click on Zoom link. And that will start the meeting on your end. And if there's a student signed up at a certain time, I will be there. I'll make sure to be there and have the meeting ready to go. All right, while we're in here, let's go ahead and take a closer look at Blackboard. And I'm still in the student preview mode. Most of the materials that we will use in this class, you will access them by going to the assignments link. Over here on the left, click on assignments. And the first thing we're doing in the class is course introduction. There's the syllabus, there's the course calendar. If you'd like to learn more about me, there's a video that has more information about me, more personal stuff, my hobbies and all that stuff. You don't have to watch that if you don't want to, but it is available if you'd like to. Back to the assignments link. This is Unit 1, the Unit 1 folder. All of the materials that you'll need for Unit 1, except for the textbook, will be in this folder. There's also a final exam study guide there. Don't worry about that yet. By the time we're finished with this semester, there will be 11 folders, actually 12 folders. There'll be course introduction and a folder for each of the 11 units that we're going to be completing during this semester. And there may be some other miscellaneous items as well. But there will be at least the course introduction folder and 11 unit folders. Each of those unit folders will contain additional information or materials that you need for the class. All right, let's get out of Blackboard, get back out to our PowerPoint here. We will have a final exam at the very end of the semester. This final exam will cover materials that we should be familiar with by the time we get to the end of the class. It will be a take-home exam. It will be open book, open notes. The only thing you can't do on the final exam is work together. It's not a team project. Do your own work, but you can use any of your notes, study question answers, any written materials that you have access to you can use on this take-home final exam. You will have approximately 1 week to work on the exam. The exam will be due 3 p.m. on December 9th. I will have the final exam available to you no later than December 2nd. It could be before December 2nd, but it won't be later than December 2nd. And once you have it available to you, you can work on it over the next week week-long period. It will not be a timed exam like the quizzes. You will be free to maybe do 10 questions on one day and then 10 questions on the next day, and something along those lines. As long as everything is completed and submitted by December 9th, you'll be in good shape. More information or more preaching, if you will, about keeping up with the due dates. I'm pretty lenient on the due dates except for these 3 assignments. The email assignment, Zoom conference, and final exam, those are strict due dates. Miss them, you don't get the points. All of the other assignments, the quizzes and the study guides and all of that, I'll be fairly lenient with those due dates. But don't let yourself get behind. Another thing to keep in mind, if you're late with your unit quizzes or you're late with other assignments, those late assignments may end up not getting graded until the end of the semester. They're not going to be on my priority for grading if they're turned in late. So I think that's pretty much it. I think I've preached to you enough about staying on schedule. And in other online classes I've taught, that's probably been the biggest problem students have had. They let themselves get behind. And if you let yourself get behind, that makes the class a lot harder. Final grades will be assigned according to the scale found in the syllabus. Let me show that to you. 90% of points possible will be an A. 80% of points possible to 89.99% will be a B, and so on, a standard grading scale. One thing to keep in mind, this point total that I have here, 759, it may not be exactly 759. It may end up being 789 or 800, or it could end up being 725. There may be some alterations in our activities throughout the course of the semester. So this is subject to change. Graded activities and points possible are subject to change. Midterm grades will be reported. Midterm grades do not show up on your transcript. They don't count toward your final grade. But I mention this because I've had some students in the past, we get to midterm and they get an F on the midterm and they wonder why they got an F on the midterm. Well, the reason they got an F on the midterm is because they were too far behind in their assignments. Maybe they only completed one of the unit quizzes and they should have completed 5 unit quizzes at that point. So that's another motivation for you to stay on schedule. If you get off schedule, you get too far behind, when the midterm grades are posted, you may end up seeing a failing grade on your midterm grade report. This last point here, this is something I learned probably my senior year when I was at NSU. Freshman, sophomore years, I was all about got to get the grades. And I had it flipped upside down. My whole view of education was upside down, was incorrect in my opinion. I figured out toward my junior and senior years that I'm there to learn something. If I focus on the learning, if I try to learn as much as I can, if I take advantage of the learning opportunities that I have, then the grades will happen. The grade I want will happen if I focus on learning first. If I work hard to try to learn as much as I can, then I'll probably end up with an A for the class. But if I'm just focused on getting the grade, then I'm not, I might get the grade, but I may not learn anything in the end. One thing that you need to remember going along with this focusing on learning, especially if you're a safety management major, what you're learning in all of our classes is information, techniques, tools that you will use in the workplace. I spent 20 years working as a safety manager. I know what you will be doing as a safety manager. So I tried to design my classes to prepare you for the day when you get that first job and you're expected to know something. Hey, your boss is going to expect you to know how to to use different instruments. They expect you how to conduct a hazard assessment. Different things your boss will be expecting you to do. This is your opportunity for you to learn how to do those things and use those tools, or at least have a heads up on what to expect once you get out in the workplace. Yeah. Pretty much all of our classes contains material that you will be using that is directly applicable to your work. It's not like English literature where you're studying John Steinbeck and his writings that you may never use. I mean, that's important. I love John Steinbeck. Learning about John Steinbeck, reading his novels is very valuable to us educationally. But you're probably not going to go into the workplace and share a passage from the Grapes of Wrath with your workers. What you will be doing, perhaps, is going into the workplace and talking with your workers about silicosis, which we'll be covering in this class. We'll be providing information, tools, and techniques that you will be using. So focus on the learning, then the grades will happen. But focus on the learning, because your real test is when you get that first job and your boss expects you to do something, to know something. All right, enough of that. I know I'm getting way too preachy here. But the reason I'm getting preachy is because I want you to do well. I want you to be prepared. Yeah, that's everything I do here at NSU to help you, is to help you prepare for that job when you get that first job as a safety manager or environmental manager. Also, to help better prepare you for your career, I try to provide some field trip opportunities and some other learning opportunities. Now, we're going to have to see how this goes. This is the first semester where we've been all online with our safety management classes. There may not be enough interest to actually have field trips, but I'll probably try to do a couple of field trips. I'm even thinking about doing what I call Saturday workshops, where you'll have the opportunity to have some more hands-on learning experiences. For example, in these Saturday workshops, I may show you how to use fall protection equipment. I'll bring out all this fall protection equipment. We'll try on harnesses. We'll get to touch and feel the different tools that are used for fall protection. Industrial hygiene, a Saturday workshop might be looking at all the different testing instruments that can be used to test for chemicals in the workplace, and maybe do a hazard evaluation, do a mock hazard evaluation, or maybe we do a hands-on incident investigation. Different things like that, and this will all depend on you guys and how interested you are in doing this. Make the announcement and nobody responds, or if I only have one or two people sign up, probably not going to do it. But if there's significant interest and demand, then we will do field trips and the Saturday workshops. Like I said, usually do 2 field trips in the past. I'm thinking 2 Saturday workshops each semester also. Another opportunity that you might have for additional learning, for additional career preparation, is through the American Society of Safety Professionals, ASSP. We do have a chapter on campus. We've lost our president, we've lost our vice president. We're going to have to get some new officers in place, but we want to get these meetings going. And at least once a month, we'll have a meeting. We'll talk about different aspects of the safety profession. We like to have some guest speakers come in from different factories, from different organizations, come in and talk to us about the safety profession. Again, just another learning opportunity. Also, being a member of the ASSP is something that you can put on your resume, something that will look good on your resume. Okay, we're winding down here. Let me just do a quick review of assignments that you need to jump on and get out of the way as soon as possible. Send me the email. Do the email assignment. Log into Blackboard and look at the course materials available at this time. The main reason for logging into Blackboard is so you get a better understanding of Blackboard and what it's all about. If you've used Blackboard for three years already, you probably don't need to do that. but if you're a new Blackboard user, go in and play with it. Read the syllabus in more detail and let me know if you have any questions. Sign up for a one-on-one Zoom conference. Go to Blackboard, click on that link, pick a time and a day that works best for you, and get that conference set up. And then finally, let me mention that the material for Unit 1 will be available on Blackboard by 5 p.m. on August 18th. The material that you need to get to work on Unit 1 will be there by 5 p.m. on August 18th. All right, that's it. Some final words. And I haven't emphasized this enough, but I do want you to know that I'm here to help prepare you for your career. Even if you're not a safety management major, if you're in this class, I want to help you prepare also. I retired from a pretty good job to come back and help younger professionals get ready for the career that they have ahead of them. So anything I can do, let me know. Never be shy about asking for help or asking questions about anything. Finally, and this goes along with what I've already preached on, take advantage of this learning opportunity that you have. Look at this class and all of your classes as an opportunity to make yourself a better person. We're all learning. We never know everything. This is your chance to learn more about the profession that you may be entering. Like I said before, the material covered in this class is directly applicable to your work as a safety manager. All right, I'm going to let you go. Let me know if you have any questions. I will, hopefully I'll see you around campus. If not, I will see you in the Zoom conference that we're going to have here in the next couple of weeks.